No beer, hell. Yeah, we'll go there. Let's grab some food.
time to get together. Woo! Pitching time! Should we give the judges a big hand? Woo! Okay, it's last chance to find a chair and then we get started. Giuseppe.
You guys ready to get started? People are probably still working on the presentations right now, so sorry, judges. But without further ado, welcome to Startup Weekend Copenhagen Academia. My name is Joey Kino, and I actually work with Startup Weekend, the nonprofit, which is headquartered in Seattle, Washington. So for those just joining us tonight, Startup Weekend is just a weekend of craziness. We spend 54 hours getting teams together, spending the entire weekend just hacking, building, developing new startups, hopefully, that are going to be presented and demoed tonight to a panel of amazing judges. My specific role at Startup Weekend is actually focused on bringing a new vertical out, and that's focused on bringing our educational model into universities. And so there's been a lot of interest at the university level to do some type of thing that has to do with commercializing the research that's just sitting at universities all around the world. And so when Monica came up and approached me about this specific idea, it was an amazing idea, and she had an amazing team behind it, and things were just ready to go. And so this is kind of like our first trial, doing this research-focused startup weekend. And I think it's been an amazing experience so far. So I'd like to give Monica one big round of applause. We do have some amazing global sponsors at Startup Weekend that has just really helped this grow massively. And so Google, the Kauffman Foundation are the two biggest sponsors, biggest partners. Recently, .co has actually supplied all of our teams with free .co domains, so that was pretty awesome. AWS, Microsoft BizSpark, SendGrid, and CloudMine have been amazing supporters as well. So thank you, big thank you to them. Thank you to them. Live stream. All right.
Maybe you should explain that so nobody looks foolish.
Oh yeah, so we do have a live stream going on here, so we're blasting this out to everybody. So just make sure that you look good on camera, all right?
Thanks, Joey. And thanks for coming all the way from Seattle just to join this one. Should we give him a hand? Woo! Already, Joey said a big thanks to Monica. I think there's a big team behind this, and by magic, every time you get hungry, there's some food and drinks out there, and suddenly it's gone again, so there's no garbage around. I think that it has been a hell of a practical job, and everybody did really, really good on that. I think maybe if you would help me give a big hand to all these guys. Woo! So, Joey, you changed that or I?
Got you.
Not going through a lot of explanation again here. We showed the sponsors Friday night. Hell of a job actually from Monica also on this one to get most of these on board just on her own. I guess a lot of you guys here are somehow part of this, so big thanks to you guys. Mentors, I didn't want to put a picture of all the guys in there. I think there was a huge need for friendly kick Saturday, and a lot of the guys came back Sunday. And I think that was what happened. After the mentors was here, we really, really saw these ideas transform into a business plan. That was almost also like magic. So thanks for all the mentors for stopping by. And then we had the specialty corners, we had the IPR and legal, we had the venture capital guys, and then we had the prototype and design, and the marketing guys. By the way, where did Martin go? He was in Specialty Corner. He was also in one of the teams. Now he's not here. Okay. Drank too much. Nice. Then we had the lab facilities open. Did anybody go to the labs? Cool. Thanks for usage of that. One.
We actually did, and the coffee machine was broken.
So you left again. Nice. Once you found out we had coffee here, then no need for the lab. Cool. Then we had a really nice science show, and they made things explode outside. I like that one the best.
They made ice cream, so that was
The ice cream was the best. Cool. And then I think it's time to have just not just an applause at the entry, but actually a very short introduction of each of the jury members, so we actually know who we are going to dazzle here with the presentations later. So you guys, can we start with just a short intro of maybe name and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Mads, as you can see, and I have co-founded 4 companies, and 2 are still running today. One was closed, one was exited. The one I'm at today is called Abeo, and it's actually based on DTU technology, so it's great to be out here again. Right now we live in the city, and yeah, my role there was to be the CEO for around 1.5 years, but then I resigned kind of and became the CFO, so or maybe degrader, I don't know, you can decide. But anyway, that's my role today, and yes, I love that. It's going pretty well and it's very interesting, but it's concrete, so it's a long story to tell what we're doing, but basically we're doing it lighter and easier, as I guess most companies in their respective fields. So I can talk more about that if you have questions afterwards.
Hi, my name is Pernille Skov, and I'm the director of a place called CAGI, Center for Applied Artistic Innovation. And I work with all the arts education, so it's design, architecture, music, film, so on. Then I'm also co-founder of 2 companies, both making films, and one of them working specifically with art and innovation. So it's looking into how contemporary art practices and creative technologies can make wonderful things together.
Hi, my name is Mikkel Leihart, and I'm from the Ministry of Science, Innovation and Higher Education, so basically the dusty bureaucrats.
Hello, my name is Anders, and I'm here from a place called Singularity University, based in California. And I've been looking for your expectations of technology development, and tend to think that technology will move exponentially, so that's what I'm looking for. You're using your technology the right way, or you're understanding the progress in technology in the right way. And then I'm an entrepreneur myself, so yeah, thank you. Looking forward to your ideas.
My name is Nikolai. I'm a partner at Sunstone Capital, so I'm one of the ones who gets blamed for all talk, no action. But before I came to this point, I did 4 different startups. The last one was a Swedish company called Polar Rose, which we sold to Apple about 2 years ago. And slightly interesting here because that was also a company that came out of the university space, University of Lund, where the founder, Jan-Erik Solheim, had been doing his PhD research. And unlike in Denmark, he was actually able to take his research with him and do a new company all by himself.
Thank you for all you do. And I think very, very, very important, thank you all for showing up. These are the 10 teams that are going to pitch. And I'm not going to make a long personal speech, but you all heard the story, most of you heard the story Friday, why I'm here. I'm trying to push a negative story of Nokia closing down 1,000 people in Copenhagen into something positive, starting new companies and creating new growth in Denmark. If I've been absent for a couple of hours here and there during the weekend, it's because I'm unfortunately setting up the closure of a German site next week, 500 guys more. And the positive story I will go there with in the next week is that I will help them create new companies down there also. So I'm looking actually forward to that. Cool. Now it's time for the pitching frantic. And what we are battling over here is top 3 prizes. Of course, Joey have told me many times during the weekend, we are all winners, and I won't forget that. But 3 teams will go home with a little bit more than just the honor. We have 10,000 kroner for the overall best team. Best in this sense means that we are trying to be true to the concept of a research-based idea, taking to a business plan and how to launch that in the market. Then we have 5,000 kroner for the best demo UI. So the stuff happening up here, dazzling all the guys down here. And then we have the most innovative idea with 2,500 kroner. Are we ready to pitch? Sure, Monica, come up here. Huh? Oh, so you want to give more money away? Sorry, I didn't get that. Uh-huh. So most innovative is 5,000 and the best demo is 3,000. So you're actually taking money away from these guys. Okay, anyways, we will change this just so we agree what we're battling about here. Cool. It is time for the final pitch. You all did some heavy work during the weekend. Thanks for that. I saw a lot of energy being put into the business plans. You also did a test pitch. You get a lot of beating on that, I guess, at least in the team where I was. And now it's time for the real thing. So basically, Joey, you want to say a little bit about the process?
So we have our 10 teams in the pitch order right here. We're going to start off with Egro. And then after they do a 4-minute pitch, we'll have 3 questions from our judges. When the team is doing their Q&A, the next team, so the team on deck, should be setting up their PowerPoint presentations. Okay? Any questions? Yeah, let's stop talking. Let's get to pitching. But Lars wants to...
And you will be... No, we're just getting the process done here, because once we get started, this is fast. So, Joey, you'll be sitting there with the timer, big timer, so it's possible to see it. And giving a small in-the-air handshake when there's 1 minute left, and then you should kind of start to ever so slowly wrap it up. 4 minutes pass, and then I slowly kind of approach you. That means that something bad will happen soon. And 4 minutes and like 15 seconds, then something will start pulling your hand, and this is going away. And then you kind of can hear that you don't get the punchline. So get it done in the 4 minutes. Hey, we have the first guy here. This guy's team is here to help, right? Yeah. And to take away that stuff when the 4 minutes is gone and while you are answering questions. Cool. Good. Let's get going. 4 minutes. Egro. Are you ready? Yeah. Woo!
Okay. My name is Jakob. I'm the founder of Egro. We do e-learning south of the Sahara in agriculture, and I'm here to present you with a product innovation that we did. We used Startup Weekend as a research and development department. We had new team, and this is what we came up with. It's a bioshelter. This is what's going to happen. This is the risk for all of the world, and we have rising temperatures. The climate is going to change. The crop in the future is going to have to live in a different climate than they're used to. They're all going to have to find new habitats. We're going to focus on a specific area, which is over here on the west coast of the US. It's in Napa Valley, close to the Bay Area of San Francisco. They have a huge wine industry, and they are at large risk in the summer season of Santa Ana winds, which completely destroy their harvest year after year. In 30 years, 50% of their land is no longer arable. So that's our business opportunity, that's our cash cow to help the rest of the world. Our inspiration comes from nature, and in nature, a leaf like this works in a very specific way. It has what's called a lip cell in Danish, which opens and closes its transpirational ducts. And we've tried to mimic this biomimicry, and this is what we would do. Can you just keep rolling the slides? And then it gets bigger and bigger, and it's a dome that's fully integrated, this technology, into a rigid structure based on geometrics. And it's a modular design, so it can be added all over, in this case, the wine plantation or whatever field you have. So this couldn't just be used in Napa. It could be used all over the world. But in Napa specifically, we have the ability to go there really fast, find some really rich investors that are just desperately looking for this. They're announcing it all over the place. We want inventors to come in, help us solve this problem. So we see it as a prototype development, and we can go there and get all of the skills that we need, find our cash cow, and then produce a really easy product for other parts of the world, for emerging markets, and then we can roll it global, basically, once we've done the product development. So I'm moving off to Africa, and we didn't think of this idea until now, but I'm going to have to rethink whether I want to roll out down there now, or if I want to go into milking my cash cow. But basically, that's the future of eGrow. And we're going to be using the bioshelter to do this. I don't know if this is going to blow up. It did at the demonstration. But if you haven't understood it yet, this is what it is. It's a material called Mylar that NASA developed for the Apollo missions. And it's one of the strongest materials in the world. And the judges can just try it if they want to. Try to rip it apart. And I don't know if this will work, but the idea is to inflate the cells pneumatically, which means that air will enter the cells, they will inflate, and this is a little difficult. Yeah, if I had more hands, it would be easier, but... Yeah, it might pop, but it wouldn't.
20 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have happened, but we have time to develop.
10 seconds.
Almost. So the idea is it'll close the holes, the sun won't penetrate, and we can keep it, control the microclimate inside the dome. Thank you.
Questions?
So how many of the there was just a short screen with the team? Is that your existing company, or how much were you able to take from here? You said you used this a bit as a research lab.
All of the industrial design was taken from this weekend. The idea originates when I was cutting grass in Tuscany 8 years ago. I needed a shelter for my golf greens. And then I found out about the lip cell in 2008. Tried to write it into to Venture Cup last year. It was a good idea, but I didn't know what to do. But this is like a product innovation. It's going to be in our series of product. We need to go out and patent this, apply for the patent immediately, and then get the ball rolling.
Great.
Have you any thoughts about the price for developing the product? What's I mean, how many acres can you cover compared to the price for developing?
For the developing countries, the material is rather cheap. It's what's used for chips bags. And it's so tensile, so strong that you can't rip it apart with two hands. So we have some other risks in the developing countries than we do in places like this, where they can be serviced easily. But it's a material that can be welded and glued, and then you have the strength backing it again. So really, I don't have a price tag, but it's easy to put there logistically for the developing countries. But it's also very easy to make yourself. It could even be done open source, as long as you know how to put pressure in air.
Final question?
Hi, can you expand a little bit about your team? Who's going to help you do this?
I have an industrial designer, but only for this weekend, because he's already employed. But literally, I need to go to the States and develop it there, because that's where I'm close to my customers. The research department here could probably help me, because I'm part of Createch at DTU, so I have access to mentors, etc. The prototyping, I'm not the best at ironing. I might go out and find some of your friends in the creative world of arts and get a partner on board on this specific and make it a spin-off, perhaps. But that's for the future to see. Not necessarily this team, but hopefully, because we had a really good synergy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So while fiber sensing textiles is preparing our next, then we welcome Kosa.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aleksandra Hečko. I'm a telecommunication engineer, and today it's my pleasure to present you a Kosa company, whose main product is the innovation enabling tool that will enable and make it possible to develop next generation telecommunication network. Let me introduce you to the current situation on the market. According to the Cisco forecast, in 5 years, we are gonna meet 4 times growth in the internet traffic. And to be able to satisfy users generating this amount of data, we'll need such a highway. But what we have right now are the dirt roads, and the goal of the telecommunication industry is to be able to make these dirt roads be able to transmit the data that needs a huge highway. And our product is the enabling tool for the telecommunication industry to be able to meet that growing demand. Our customers are research and development laboratories, mainly from the optical industry. And what they need to do is to make this transmission from the dirt road into a big highway. And therefore, they will be able to squeeze more data on existing fibers. They need a higher resolution of measurements to assure that. And our tool will be enabling them to make this higher resolution of measurements, and therefore they will be moving forward with the technology. Because in this industry, if you are not moving forward, you're actually stepping back. Let me present you our solution, which was developed by the member of our team, and presented you the advantages that we can see already on the existing prototype. What already existing on the market optical spectrum analyzers can do is to check the frequency, but you can see how many different colors they can differentiate. Our solution will be able to tell far more about the optical spectrum. What's more, we are able not only to measure the amplitude, but also the phase. So we are able to get more information. And if we compare our solution to the already existing competitors, you can see that our accuracy is far better than from Apex and Yokogawa company. We are 20,000 more accurate than Yokogawa and 25 times more accurate than Apex. Our device can be multi-purpose. It can measure not only amplitude, but also the phase, so we are offering more. In terms of price, we are in between of our current competitors. Therefore, the value for the researcher, it's much higher with our solution. The market feedback that we are able to gather along this weekend, it's highly positive. 2/3 of the researchers, they were really interested in this higher resolution of measurements. They were saying things like, everyone dealing with optics will need it. What's more, the industry experts were really happy to see the big eyes coming on their faces. The way we are going to achieve the success, it's the following. We see the market potential of 100 customers in Nordics, 2,000 across Europe, and 10,000 worldwide. We are benchmarking our company basing on Apex, which were able to gain 5% of market share in 7 years. Please remember that our product is not only a measuring tool, but also an innovation enabling tool. That's why I believe we'll be able to do it faster. And doing that, we'll be able to achieve in 5 years an accumulative turnover of 100 million euro. Thank you.
Hi. What are the requirements for the infrastructure? If I understand it correctly, it might imply some changes in infrastructure. Which are these? And maybe just briefly, who is your end customer?
What we are offering is the measuring, is the sole device, and our device can operate on its own. So we are basically selling product that can work on its own. Our technology can be later on, in 10 years' time, will be used on already existing network equipment at that time. That was half of your question. What was the second half? Our customers are research and development departments and laboratories, mainly in optical industry.
So if you say you can essentially measure 50% higher throughput or 50% more signals, and you say in 10 years that's going to make it into the market, is that the type of... Just clarify that for me.
We are able to measure more accurately, comparing to existing solutions 20,000 or 25,000 more accurately. Based on these results, the network will be able to transfer 50% more of throughput. And this can already be useful in the research. It can be applied to the products in 10 years' time, already existing on the network and boosting, but that's the other path.
Thank you, Kosa. And while Monkey Business is getting ready, we have this, is it Fibex now? Fiber sensing textiles?
We're waiting for the technical problem to change.
But it's a nice picture. So that's not a problem.
Can you change the... That's the reason why we had the
Do you have a different computer to put it on?
Yeah, let's...
And where is that? But I said Monkey Business. Wow, something's happening. There are 30 seconds left.
Let's show you. No, we'll change the split screen. Like you have a dual monitor. So this is taking off.
That's the decision.
It's a great name. It's X Factor.
So just because they found a nice new name, we will restart now. Here's 5X.
Yeah, I hope my slides will come in a minute. Time is going. Okay, we are FabX. We have identified a need in the golf market, and we came up with a solution. And our solution is called FabX. First, I'll address what's the pain in the golf market nowadays. Is basically people has came up with so many solutions that they have lots of products, but it limits. It's either not user friendly, where you have to have sensors on your suit, you have to place camera at specific corners to track your motion, or you have a big training machine or some sensors placed on the ground which fix your room of operation. It's not very flexible. You cannot move to the next point to operate. So our solution is to use fiber-sensitive textiles. It's high-tech, novel, and what we do is we produce a suit made from optical fiber, and it's so flexible. You just wear it. You wear a portable device, so you collect your motion tracking data, send it wirelessly from this device to your portable tablets, for example, your iPad. So our product is the optical sensing suit, the data acquisition device, and the application, the apps on your iPad. 3 points. The product is the state of the art. It's very novel, so it's a high potential to acquire a utility patent. And how the product works is basically it's a distributed sensor. So it tracks your movement. It makes a simulation of your posture, and it compares this print of the simulation to a professional reference. Then you know exactly how much more angle you need to tune your arms and so on. We did a market. Our business model is twofold. So basically, we sell our merchandise to the end users, who are the golfers, and we send the data acquisition equipment to the golf clubs. And we did our market research. We will start from the regional market, which is Denmark, including the southern part of Sweden. We found out there are more than 200 golf clubs and more than 250,000 of active members. So. And after we have entered the European market, we will expand towards the US and the Asian markets, where the number of clubs and the number of end users just increase exponentially. We have also made an action plan. We also made an action plan, which is we will first complete the first prototype. We will then do an up-to-date, more thorough market research. Then we will, at this point, we will also check the patent database to be more serious on obtaining this utility patent. Then we are ready to apply or obtaining VC fundings and let the business fly. So yeah, here you see this is the diagram, even though the screen doesn't fit very well. This is the optical fiber-sensitive suit you will wear, and this is the device you put on in your pocket. Then the data is transmitted over here. This is how the first prototype, how this simulation will look like. The red is you, the black is the professional performance. So that's it. Hope you like it.
Questions?
All right.
This is what you can find nowadays.
Amazing presentation without the slides. That's a really great job you did with no slides. Really good. Why golf?
Why golf? Well, golf is it's a sport that are not so heavy motion. It's a rich market. It's a wealthy market, I have to say, and also the position, small difference of the position is so sensitive. It's not like you just do big steps. It's so sensitive. Small angles, small tweak of your head makes a big difference on how the ball will go. So this suits very well as a starting point of this technology in this business.
So with the existing solutions, what do people typically spend?
How much money? How much money? Yeah. Okay, these are gone. So what people use is now an affordable solution is, for example, they wear a gloves where there are pressure sensors. I think the price is couple of hundreds, maybe up to 1,000. But this one gives very limited information you will get. It's only, if you go like this, it will only draw a line like this. If your body are twisted, you cannot find the data. And our solution, our pricing model is also very profitable. It's not so expensive. For example, the suit you can get for less than 1,000 krona, and the data acquisition device we can make it under 5,000. So you can save it. You can sell it from 5,000 to 10,000 kronas. So this is totally affordable for the middle class levels to spend. So we think it's the revenue is good. Also, is scalable.
Last question. Just a very fast question. So the weekend, what did it bring to the business model? This weekend.
This weekend is great. I have never had the experience because we had so much inputs from the mentors to the business model. Yes, in the beginning we do not have a clear idea of what business we should start with this very high-tech, high-end technology. We thought of different conceptual building materials for the future airplane or for monitoring safety, monitoring, environmental monitoring applications. But we learned the entry barrier for those applications are so huge. It's difficult to enter these markets. So this weekend has brought to us the experience from those skillful expertise in the real world to let us realize what a up-to-date application can be applied to make a difference in the society already now.
So we're looking where's the entry point in the market where we can commercialize the technology quite fast and don't go on the industries where we have to spend years and years until we can even enter the market. So it was great.
Give it up for 5X. Woo! And while Tillibit is next and getting ready, we now have Monkey Biz. Woo!
Thank you. Show you monkey, okay. Hello and welcome. This is my team. We have Danny over here, and on the other side we have Victor. We've been working together for this weekend, and it has been absolutely amazing. We're going to show you a bit about what we've been discovering for this weekend, and going to start up. As you can see here, we have Monkey Biz. Monkey Biz is all about what students do when they're not in school. We take the best elements of search from Google, community from Facebook, and discount services from Groupon. And then we target the students. Therefore, we are a social community that has a sharp focus on students aged 17 to 27. The community will roll out as a website and a mobile app compatible with Windows phone and also iPhone and Android phones. Monkey Biz is about fun, nightlife, dining, and all the social parts of it. But it also has a serious side. We're going to be providing students access to relevant study jobs. The consequences of this is that we are best friends with the students and best friends with the universities as well. We are launching our first community in Kolding and have currently partnered up with IBA to provide us access to their students. They've committed to include marketing material with the acceptance letters sent out to every student. Initially, we intend to offer local businesses deeply discounted or free access to our student base. This will generate a loyal following of students, but as soon as we reach a critical mass of students, we will be starting to charge the businesses. We intend to roll out this concept globally, one university at a time. But in the countries where the student mass do not speak English, we're of course going to do in the local language. So what do students actually do when they're not in school? We have fun. We have found out that there's actually no knowledge regarding where to find student discount. This means that the students are therefore running around and not being able to know where they can find this discount. Our answer to this problem is that we're going to have a database with all the company profiles so that they can easily access these points. The benefit of this is that in the future, the company will have to pay a monthly fee to have this access to this whole student database. Another problem or key issue is the fact that below 10% of students do actually have a relevant study job. This is very sad, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to create a CV database for the students. This database can be purchased access by the businesses. This ensures that the businesses will actually have the best potentially employees in the future if they have this access to this database. If we're looking at the market, there's above 200,000 Danish students, or students in general, divided into 9 different study cities. If we go further on into Europe, we have over 20 million students in Europe, divided into 400 different study cities. So the market is definitely out there. The financial aspects is that the company profiles will in the future be charged with 199 kroners per month to be on this fabulous web page and also mobile device. The access to the databases will cost 49 kroners per month, again to actually ensure that they get the best employees in their companies. If we take calling as our starting point, which we will be doing, there's 279 potential businesses. If we come up with the 199 kroners per month, and yearly this will actually generate over 650,000 in finance. But this is of course just a TAM. So there you have it.
Questions?
Yep. It seems like you've chosen a bit of what, at least to me, seems like a red ocean. I mean, it's pretty well served. Why have you chosen this target group, and why so rather defocused? Why are you in so many areas? What are your considerations there?
Okay. Thank you. The reason why we're doing this is, it has been done before. There's a lot of different information portals out there or information sites. But the fact is that you have to be searching several different places. So you have Yelp if you want to know things about where you can eat and the ratings of it. And then you have all the apartment sites and everything. And while I'm saying all of this, you shouldn't be confused. This is only in the future that it should be implemented with more features for the students. This should be a small student community involving everything that the student actually needs to know. So in the future, instead of actually going to 700 different places and finding all the relevant information for you as a student, you can go to one page, MonkeyBiz.
How are you going to engage the students? Because I'm thinking that you will need to have the students to fill in the information on your on MonkeyBiz. How are you going to do that? How are you going to make them use it?
Thank you. Well, the reason for choosing all these different features is that we are going to make students addicted to us. Facebook did it. So we just have to include all the information that they actually want. So therefore, it's also a rather wide range of it. And what we've been doing this weekend is also doing a search on what we can offer them. And then there's a whole thing about what comes first, the chicken or the egg. We decided that if we want to make a business out of this, which is of course the potential in the future, or the goal in the future, then we need to have a proper student surface to actually be using this. So we're including all of these things to make it impossible for the students to actually resist it. It should be so that you're actually logging on daily to check if there's any new offers. So there will be new offers every day as student discount, which means that you have to log on. And it could be that there's a new study job, and these study jobs should only be like projects, so that you can actually rent a student for a relevant job, marketing plan or such. Yeah, cool. Nothing more?
One last.
Just a quick follow-up. You say that you'll start in Kolding, but to get this critical mass, what are your considerations in terms of financing and so on? Because it's a big job that you are looking at here.
It's a huge job, thank you. Well, so far, I've only invested all my time in this, and what I'm doing right now is I'm investing all my time in this. I'm absolutely 100% sure, 110% sure that there's a market for this. I just finished my studies and in an international class, and all people are actually asking for this. So what I'm doing, I'm actually betting on full-time doing this. That also means myself, my time, and potentially also the money, because it needs to, of course, be developed. And but of course, if there's anybody out there who's programming and want to share in the company, feel free to sign up for that. I am a student, thank you.
Monkey Biz! And while Sketchcode is getting ready to be next, we have now on stage Telebits. Woo!
Hello. So, is it running? Okay. I'm going to present for you Telebit. That's the project we've been working during this weekend. So, no, I have the... So what is the need that we have today, right? I'm going to quote the president of the New York Exchange, and he said that if we could trade faster than light, we would, right? So what we need today is the lowest possible delay in data connection, right? And the Telebit module will reduce delays and increase reliability. So let's suppose that we have a trader in California, and he's working with the stock exchange in New York, right? Today, there's a lot of delay in this connection because the information needs to cross a lot of what we call nodes, right? And each node gives more and more delay. But with our solution, installing a hardware solution in each of these nodes, we can create a Telebit connection, right? This Telebit connection has the lowest theoretical delay possible. This Telebit highway works with a new type of circuit switched technology, okay? And then you can ask afterwards the technical guys what it is about. We know that there is a market for something like that because we have companies such as Velocitech here in Denmark who provide a similar service but with an inferior technology, right? And possible customers are, as I said, banking and also broadcasting. The team is composed by Victor, who was thinking about this project for a while now, and he has experience in designing microchips. And Abdullah, he has experience in networks. And Adi and me, we are trying to see the money on it, and I think we got really far this weekend. Took a while. And the next steps, well, we need to form a team because they need more engineers and networking guys to discuss the ideas and see how they can come up with a working prototype. And we also need investors for second rounds, right? Because it's really at the beginning right now. For tomorrow, maybe, we could use experienced business developer who can connect us with this type of large players and who could also be more experienced in forming a team and search investments for high technology. Victor and the team discussed a lot, and we believe that it is possible to come up with a working prototype of such a high-speed, low-delay network in half to 1 year, right? And to have a viable product in 2 years. That's it, and we have more time for questions now. Thank you.
So, well, do I understand it correct that this needs to be integrated with all the switches that the packets would be traveling through in order to really work?
Yes, you would plug in a module in each node. Sorry, you would plug in a Telebit module at each node, and so it has to be all the from the start point to the end point, you have to at each node you will have to have this telebit module.
Which, given the internet's composition, would be virtually everywhere.
Yes, but
that's why. Can I?
Yes, sure.
That's where the business part come up, because he had the idea for a really complex new internet, right? But there are these services that can provide only one path between one point to the other, right? I think you can explain more than
yeah, the already existing systems is being based on packet switch. This new technology is going to be on circuit switch. That means it's more reliable. The delay is being reduced because the existing packet switch allow rules for buffering. It has to be sent to a node or like a router with an internal memory, and buffering is being done, is store and forward a miss. But this allows straight down connection after being the initial signaling of controlling of the signals. Yeah.
So a telecoms guy like this guy would be happy to hear that back to circuits. So let me just understand, what would be the business around this? Would that be licensing this to the Ciscos, to the Jupiters?
Could you repeat the question?
Okay, what would be the business behind it, right? That's what we've been discussing a lot as well. It depends how the technology is implemented. His initial idea would be to charge by the connection, or in the future, charge by the reliability, or how low is the latency, right? So you would provide it as a package to the broadcasting or to the bank, and in the future, larger networks as network operators like TDC or something like that.
More questions? No? Big hand to Telebit. Woo! Before we welcome Sketchcode, I just need everybody to stand up. We have some voting to do. And I see arms better this way. Not the judges, of course, just be there. So I need to see some hands. First we're going to vote how many wants a 5-minute break. And oh, that's a lot. And who can't wait and want to see Sketchcode now and do the last 5? Woo! That's more. We will continue. Sit down. We will run with it. Please help me welcome Sketchcode.
Hi guys, thanks for your interest. I'm looking forward to showing it to you. You will not regret your vote. So I'm Zeman from the Sketchcode team, and I'm going to show you a programming editor that makes both programmers and the ones who pay their salaries very happy. So this is a web startup. These guys get really cool ideas for web-based services. Then they go write a lot of code, iterate it, test it with customers, and finally they enter the market with a kick-ass product. Now, this is cool, but this is also very labor intensive. And the reason that programming is very labor intensive is you work with it in plain text code. So whenever you make a change to the program, you have to write the text in, imagine what it is, and then you go to the web browser, see if it worked. Sometimes it doesn't. Go back to the code, think about what the text is like. Oh yeah. Sketchcode is different. Sketchcode offers you 3 things. So first off, the programmer can work with the current concept at the right visualization. Second, if he works with math, he gets equations. If he works with colors, he gets colors in the code. Second, it allows him immediate feedback on his actions. And third, and most important, Sketchcode is highly extensible. So whenever the programmer needs a better representation for the program, he can just make it and always have the right tool at hand. So in this here, I'm working with the colors of a web page. And because Sketchcode just understands colors, I just get a color picker there and I get immediate feedback. Now, because Sketchcode is self-extensible, I can model any kinds of interaction on the product. So interaction, for instance, I can model it into a diagram and work at a high level with that specific aspect of the application. So from the business side, Sketchcode is better and faster programming for the same bugs. And the way we are going to make money on that, we are going to offer Sketchcode as a web-based code editor, as a web page. And we're going to offer, like GitHub, free accounts for open source projects to try it out and spread the word. And then we're going to offer premium closed accounts for companies. And most importantly, we are going to make a marketplace, an app store, for these extensions that programmers make to make themselves more efficient, so they can share them with others, they can make some money on selling them, we can make some money on providing the infrastructure for selling it, and finally, we get a better ecosystem for sketch code because everybody is improving it. The alternatives today in the market is actually plain text editors. That's what people use. And although there is some stuff upcoming based on traditional programming tools technology, we can get better support in the programming tools with that. These are still limited in their technology. And Sketchcode uses a different technology which is highly extensible, so we can always have the perfect support for the current problem. Currently, we are doing customer validation. We are working with a very cool startup and founders house, Evertail, and doing a alpha development phase with them. We are also spreading the word, showing this to everybody who wants to listen to us. We present it at Twitter headquarters, and people just love it and ask us to ship this so they can use it. The next steps is that towards the end of the year, we will have the alpha version ready. We will have solved Evertail's development problems. Then we can go and do crowdfunding to bring out a public beta version. In summer 2013, we are going to work on this app store, and by 2014, we will have validated the concept sufficiently to scale up big and go for venture money. So, try to follow Sketchcode, keep an eye on it. It's not online yet, it will be, and thanks for listening.
And while Boxpacker is getting ready, we have time for questions.
It seems like a really good idea. Was it something that you came up with this weekend, or was it an idea that you brought to this?
Thanks. I did 2 years of research on that on my master's at the IT University. I did my master's thesis in that and a lot of related projects. So it's a bigger project.
Have you done any study about the effect for the actual work? Is it faster, and how much? Is it better code, or is it more easier to code?
Yeah, so that was developed together with startups from the very beginning. We did a user-centered design process, and I just looked at the scenarios, the problems they were solving, and then put up alternative scenarios with the Sketchcode way. So yeah, definitely, it's faster because you work with the right representation. It's also safer in that sense. You get the right representation to work at the, so you get consistency from the systems. If you're working with interaction, you can model that with a computer science concept called state machines and represent it as a diagram. And from that diagram form, you see the consequences of your actions more readily than from plain text source code.
Any last one?
What's the programming language behind? I mean, what is the glue? How do I write the core extensions?
So the core extensions are written in HTML5, and the reason for that is actually that it is something that's readily available to a lot of programmers because there are so many web developers out there today. It's based on research systems. These systems have existed, but they have been very hard to approach before. So in a sense, this brings this line of self-extensible programming tools into the mainstream domain.
Give it up for Sketchcode! Giuseppe is getting ready to tell us about pizza, but please give it up now for Boxpacker.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to present to you a scenario that a lot of you might get into in the next coming days. You'll go home after work, you'll go to a retailer, use some of your precious time running around in the supermarkets trying to find quality foods with screaming kids all over the place, getting home, being even more tired, and actually didn't have the best experience and maybe not even had that good quality foods anyway for your time and money wasted. Of course, there exist some solutions to that problem already today. We have a lot of different internet stores Almost every supermarket does it. And then we have some specialized companies, for instance, Årstiderne in Denmark, that provide vegetables basically in Denmark. But what they don't provide is the contact with quality. They don't provide the passion of food, and they don't provide the contact and the society that we should have as consumers together with the farmers and the producers of our food. So what we want to do is to try to build up this society as a movement. It should be based on a lot of feedback, a lot of networking, both between the farmers, between the consumers, between the producers, and all people involved. So we can actually get a new movement on and trying to get better quality foods. Which leads us to who is actually going to use this network and this company. And that will be, in generally, consumers that is concerned about food quality. And feeling that they don't have the possibility to get good quality foods that they know where come from, with transparency. They know which farmer has grown it, and they know which cheesemaker has been involved in making the cheese. Unless they want to spend a lot of hours going to get it. But if they work at a big working place, we can supply that to them directly after work. We have already made a homepage. It's called Box Packer, where you can read about the vegetables. We can connect with the producers of the food, and you can share your experiences between consumers and producers. Some of the challenges in this company is that we need both our consumers and we also need our suppliers of food at the same time. We have a challenge with logistics as well that we need to handle. And we have a quality assurance problem because people will not touch the food before they buy it. The way we want to solve this is that we want to establish a pilot base where we can have a base of consumers at a large company or association that could start building up this society, getting 5 selected producers in and trying to build it up and then bud it out to different locations to get this into a movement so people really want to get better foods. We've been asking some of the stakeholders that are in this, and we got a lot of response that we have too much trash and we waste too much energy today. And in the meantime, we also have some farmers and producers that don't have any distribution channel. And we have some consumers that really want quality foods, but they don't have the time to get them. What we will then do is that we will offer a place for the producers to go and place their food. We will repack them, place it at your working place so you can take it directly home. And check out our web page, it's online now.
Some questions?
Yeah, it may be me because of course it has you have only reached a certain point, but how exactly do you differentiate from Årstiderne, just to take them, at least I know them. It seems at least to me that it's fairly similar. Which are your main kind of differentiation points?
When you buy good quality foods, because it is that from Årstiderne, you buy an organic apple, but you don't know where it's from. There's no directly connection between the feeling of food and the involvement of the producers of the food. It's mainly a collecting central that is distributing it out. Quality food, but there's not the real movement and connection.
But then how do you do that differently? How do you make it more? How do
We want to involve the producers of food into the network and generate a network between every partners in it, and to try to create some transparency. And especially the small farmers have a huge difficulty in going into these a bit larger, it could be Årstiderne or it could be retailers, because they simply cannot provide enough goods to be a proper provider in a too huge network.
Actually, it's not true. Austin, it tells you where the vegetables coming from and also the fish and everything. I use it myself, and they name the farm and the place in Denmark and everything. So it's not quite true what you're saying. But how do you suppose how will you reach your customers? Through which channels?
Our idea is to reach our customers through their working place. So we want to establish connections and deals together with the CEOs or below CEOs in larger companies, so they can use it as a benefit at their working place that they help them provide goods. So when they're off to work, they can bring their vegetables, meat and fish home with them.
The last 5 minutes before you go home, free, because some of your grocery shopping is already done. In that way, freeing up and it's beneficial for both parties, both the employee and the companies.
I guess this is a little bit more of a comment than a question, but I mean, if you look at a lot of these community marketplaces, one of the things, at least the successful ones, they start with an existing community of producers, like Etsy, for example. You know how to reach Etsy knew how to reach all the knitters in New York. They knew how to reach all the ones who were, sewing dolls in San Francisco, or wherever it was. And I think that your challenge, the real challenge that this is going to come down to, and I think which Austin also realizes, and the reason why they're not a true community, is the logistics, right? Getting so much perishable goods from so many places to other places is, good luck.
One of our is to be order-driven compared to Austria, where they have some kind of stock. So we are not building on.
The reason why they have that is because of logistics.
Yeah. So, but it depends on the size of the company and how is the logistics solution. So we do the post around.
Comments going both ways is almost like a dialogue. So I think end of the questions, and let's give it up for Boxpacker. We would like to see EduMode getting ready, but before that, Giuseppe will tell us something about the pizza. Something we don't know.
Forward, backward.
Okay.
Can I have this? All right.
Hold on to it.
Is it already counting? Okay, fine. Welcome everybody. I'm Giuseppe Toscano and I'm a PhD student from DTU Photonic. I'm an engineer and a theoretical physicist in solid-state physics, but I'm gonna talk about something else. Sorry, I was just covering my beautiful slides. Okay, what are we talking about? The art and science of Neapolitan pizza. This is a way where we merge science, passion and tradition. We have been talking about this inside my group, and we came out with name Giuseppe's Pizza because it's very, very Italian. Fuck it. And okay, so men are what they eat. Are you sure? Okay, you spend a lot of money on your mobile phone and stuff like that, but then you go to buy food and you don't really know what there is around inside. In particular, I'm talking here about pizza. What's the pain today? That usually when I buy a pizza in a shop, it can be easy, both a frozen one or another that you buy in Netto, stuff like that. It contains a lot of preservative additives, and it's considered as unhealthy fast food. So you risk to become like this guy up here. Do you really want to become like that guy? I don't. And then you have this woman here. This is from the movie Eat, Pray and Love. Eat, Pray and Love. Julia Roberts in the best Neapolitan pizzeria. You know what she's saying? She's saying, I'm having a relationship with my pizza. Just go and check the movie. And so, so please, so just check the movie. And then what we want to do is a service to society. Why should I get angry or going to NATO and find this crap? I don't even have any information about it on how it's done. Go on. I'm Neapolitan, and pizza was invented in Naples in the 17th century. That was food for poor people. And I know exactly what it does, what we need to make it, because I have it really in my blood. My mom, my grandmother. We have been doing this for many years, and what we need really, what is from the scientific point of view a pizza, they should know it very well. Their industry is very much based on Tuborg and Carlsberg, companies that work into yeast, for example, into fermentation, Well, pizza is a living object. It's a living object that contains inside lactobacilli and other kind of fungi. So after all, this is a kind of bacterial cultivation that we need to take care of. How? Why this is important? It's important because it affects the acidity, for example, that means taste, the digestibility, and the workability, many things. So this is, for example, research that has been done in Italy, but things are done also in Denmark. And my idea is why we have such a discrepancy between research and market. Can we put research into yeast? It's very strong in Denmark, into market, but what do we want to do? First of all, we must be humble. We are just a startup company. Then what we need to do is get into the market. Taking, for example, my special dough that I have from my mom, and starting going and educating people to the culture of food. Once we get money to do this, then we start working on our own ideas, having our lab equipment, working with my colleagues at DTU Food and KU that work on this every day, and trying to establish our own brand on organic pizza with the special special ingredients. So in the end, what we want to do is having a franchising, for example, of our service. We go to parties, for example, and do this, but both we have also our long-term aim is going to the market. These are, for example, our partners research into money, but action plan is getting the partnership, the money from cooking events. And sorry, but I was a bit interrupted before when people start cheating. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. You were the guy that was eating there before. Here. So I think we're down to 2 questions here.
I guess the only question could be, who makes the only right pizza in Denmark today?
Who makes it? Me! Any other questions? Cool, Giuseppe, you're let off the hook. Thank you. Woo! And while Mindseed is getting ready to wrap this up, we have the guys on stage now is EduMode. Woo!
Hi, we are EduMode. What we are solving is that during the last 10 years, the general educational level in the Western countries has declined. At the same time, the time that kids are spending gaming has increased. So what we see here is a huge opportunity. We have all this area is the total gaming industry. The blue areas, the educational games with the educational stuff in it. The red area is non-educational games. The interesting things is that in this red area, that's where all the money is, the nice looking games, but there's no education in that. So what we're going to do is combining these two things through EduMode. So when a little kid is playing FIFA, he starts it and he can join the normal mode of FIFA, or he can join the EduMode of FIFA. And in this EduMode of FIFA, we will bind up the educational goals with the goals in the game. So the kids want to learn want to win the game, and thereby he will reach the educational goals. I have an example for you with a racing game. So here we see a kid is playing, he is racing with his car, and suddenly he reaches a checkpoint. And the kid really wants to go farther from this checkpoint, but he cannot. He has to learn the Spanish word for horse. If he does not learn the Spanish word for horse, all his friends will catch him up. So and they will win the game instead of him. So because this kid really wants to win this game, he actually ends up learning the Spanish word for horse. The point for this is that we want to be a serious platform for this EduMode mark. So when the parents is in the supermarket with their kids, with the kids, They will see all these games with this EduMode mark, and then the parents will actually buy these games because it has some educational content. That is the point.
Yes, and it all sounds good, but how are we going to do this? Well, the guys we want to convince first is the game developers, because we are going to piggyback on them. So, and especially here in the beginning, they are not going to... they don't want to take any financial risk. So what we're going to do is say we're going to give them plug-in so they will be able to implement this educational mode into the game and then sell the game as they usually do to the parents, the teachers, perhaps even the kids. And only if the kids uses the educational mode more than once, they're going to pay us, because then we have been a part of the sale. So we will be able to establish this without any risk for them. Okay, so what we give to the game developers? Well, we provide them a shortcut to reach the parents and the schools directly through the classroom. We have the brand reputation, which will also be a nice thing to have on the case, as it is you see it within food. For the kids and the parents, we will test and show that we can manage to create a better school performance, and we will finally provide the kids with the educational games they have deserved. So there's a huge research going on. There's going to be about which quizzes should we use, what content, when should they give new content, and the game flow. We have to keep sure that the game flow and the educational requirement is in a nice balance. And we're going to expand and then have the blockbusters, yes? And we have the skills. We are game designers, game programmers, business developers, and we already established a collaboration with a PhD from IT Learning Design Research Lab and AHU. They study this. And furthermore, we have connection with 3 other masters within the same subject. Yeah.
I was tempted to let you go just to see how fast you could actually speak. Questions?
So have you actually spoken to somebody who does research into learning in computer games?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this seems like a very American way. You know, little Joe, you have to do your homework, then you can play for 15 minutes. Yeah. While there are actually games out there that teach kids something in itself.
Have you seen the games?
Have you tried Minecraft?
No, okay, but the games existing, we have looked very much into it. The quality is nowhere near the entertainment games. And I think that's also, as we show, has to do with they don't have the money for it. There's not the money in it, and that's what we can do. Take the big budget games and make them into educational games. Regarding the cooperation who we are talking with, as said, he's called Torkild Hanra. He's PhD within this subject. Furthermore, my older brother, and he's also done a master within it, have of course talked a lot about this with him, and we agree that the game flow and the educational requirements is the issue. That's what we're going to research on and keep on trying to see how can we do this in the best way.
Okay, what we want to do in the long run is, for example, incorporate this in FIFA and in Counter-Strike and so on, and those games are way different from educational games nowadays. So
I would really encourage you to look at Minecraft.edu, the educational element of Minecraft, where they've actually, I would say they do both things without embleming, without putting people into those quiz boxes.
And they've done a good job. But to get this wide variety of different types of games, we could not go the Minecraft way. There's way too many resources. There we have an advantage.
Last question.
Yeah, it's a bit on the same note, I guess, because it seems very abrupt. I'm not much of a gamer of myself, but I would probably be very tired of having to stop every, 5 miles or 500 meters to answer a question of what horse is in Spanish or something similar. Is this just an idea, or what are your other ideas about how it can be implemented? It seems very rough, which is fair for a weekend, but what are your others idea of how to implement it in a smarter way, so to say?
Okay, I think I can shout. It's rough because we have so little time. The key thing would be if we could motivate the users to actually do this. If you have a multiplayer situation, and I play against you accept the educational thing, and you, for example, get a bigger gun or be able to fly a chopper and shoot me down. I'm gonna search for the educational question and try it out to kick your ass back. Or you could have Counter-Strike once you're dead. You want to get in the game, but there's a round, you have to wait. But if you try to answer the educational question, you'll get in again. There you use break, and in the other case you use a competitive edge. So we have definitely also thought about that. Cool.
Give it up for Edumode. Woo! And now I guess we're moving things around and we are getting ready to let Mindseed wrap it up. Woo!
Thank you. So my name is Christopher. I'm a PhD student here at DTU in applied physics, and I would like to spend a little of your time on explaining what we can do with a brain today. So I'd like to introduce my brain pilot here, Valerio. So in essence, what we did was that we mounted an electrode where we scan the brain and we relay that into a robot. And simply just by scanning the activity, we can actually actuate stuff, which we then designed into a business plan. So how did we do this? We did this with the science of an EEG, which is an old school high-tech thing, which has been modernized into a gaming asset. And we want to take it to the next level, which is a single electrode unit. So I'd like to introduce to you the single electrode EEG device, or as we like to call it, Mindseed. So what it is in essence is a single electrode EEG device that we can mount behind the ear of a patient that detects the signals from the brain and does a biofeedback either via a consumer electronic product or a direct stimulus like audio or textile. Yep. So there are a number of areas that we could attack with this other than just moving a Lego robot. And the one we have been focusing on this weekend is absence seizures. So for that I would like to introduce to you to Peter, which is this small guy suffering from absence seizures, which is a mild form of epilepsy, which occur whenever the brain is understimulated, so it simply zones out. And it's really easy to get people out of this seizure. You can simply do it by a small flick or saying their name or stimulating them with our biofeedback mechanism. Yep. So, and this has value to the market, given the leading scientists in this area. So we had a cool quote of actually having a value of our product. And the way we will bring this to the market is forming a strategic partnership with Philadelphia, which is the leading EEG research institute here in Denmark that specializes in EEG equipment and attention disorders. And what are the product benefits here? It's by simply waking out of this zoning out, we can actually reduce the risk of brain damage, we can increase attention level, and we can give an overall better life. Yeah, okay. So attention disorder is a huge social problem. It, in the US alone, amounts to $32 billion in social impact. And it's been proven now that by meditation alone, we can reduce 10% of the participants from drug-free. And this we can, of course, relate to the next one. Yeah, so we know meditation helps, and we can help meditation. We have proven that we can reduce the meditation state by 50%. Next one, do it a little bit fast. So the economy is the market size. 1% of the US population amounts to 4 million users that has attention disorder. On average, they use $700 per person per year on drugs alone, which is $2.8 billion a year. With our product for 10 years of use, which is the expected life for this disease, it will amount to $6,650 saved. So we can bring Peter back into society and live a full life. Thank you for your attention, and this is the Rockstar team.
Questions?
Brief question, how far is the technology now? You can move Lego, which looked really cool, but how far are you from helping that guy and others?
So everybody can hear. So the reason why we took this case is that in theory we could implement it next week. Was that fast enough? Or
So next week we need to build a prototype and then go down and do clinical testing. That's the difficult part, which will take longer time, but the prototype in itself is an on-off switch. And this type of seizures, where the brain is hyperactive all at once in one time, we can detect that very easily. And we have multiple people from the industry saying that that is very easy to detect, so that should be no problem at all. It's only the clinical testing that is the issue.
So I'm a little uncertain what you're actually bringing to the market. Is it the single electrode device? Is it the algorithms to sense it, or is it the the feedback after it's happened? How to actually treat it?
So we're focused on the package solution. So we want to simplify and customize EEG devices for ultra portable, low price, and still have the high fidelity of scientific research backing it. And we want to emphasize on having the full package solution or even integrating in existing products. So it actually depends on what need we're solving. And the integration options we are looking into is like the audio feedback with the headphones, or a visual feedback with an eyepiece like this.
One more? Cool.
No, actually, can you just go into how would you actually prevent somebody with attention disorder from having it?
So there are like a subset of attention disorder is this seizure I described.
Seizure, okay.
It could also be ADHD, where you can treat by teaching them via stimulus to calm down by either playing an audio track in their ear, and then you augment that with brain patterns, and thereby you're doing it into a game. So you're stimulating the brain into accepting more relaxed states, and that has been proven by other people to have success on 10% drug-free, and the rest have all positive results. So it's like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but we have those in a pie chart somewhere, but it all shows positive results. But the 10% is drug-free, which is like the big wow factor, the home run, so to say.
Thank you, Mindseed. That was 10 teams, ladies and gentlemen. What a ride. Thanks for staying in there. I promise it was worth it. I just saw the tables out there, some really nice looking tapas waiting for you. Thanks for the judges for making some really nice and nasty questions, kind of wrapping each team up. We will wait with the awards until after dinner. So now you go and have some food and drink, and then please be back here 7:30, and then we will continue with the awards. Thank you. Good to see more people now. That gotta be the food. Or maybe it's the finals. Woo! Ten teams have worked hard to get here. And a lot of mentors also showing up today. Super cool. Judges are really discussing for more than 1 hour here. Every single team. So everything has really been done by the book. And I'm happy to say that we have reached a situation where we have 3 winning teams. Are we excited? Woo! Okay, so these are the awards. And actually we invited the judges to come up and... Huh? Yeah, it's right now. We asked the judges to motivate the choices. So... guys, do your thing. Let's start with the best demo.
Great. So, the winner of the best demo is eGrow. Here you go. And I'll just add to this. We really felt that eGrow came out strong. First presentation, had definitely gone pretty far during the weekend, also with regards to the industrial design of the solution. I think that speaks very highly to what they're doing. One of the I think the only sort of larger fallacy around eGrow that the judging team found was that at least the engineers within the judging team felt that this was maybe more applicable for flying a kite than covering a field of crops. So that we definitely hope that you are going to prove us wrong in. And there's a guy here who has some very solid concrete wafers he can probably sell to you to lock things down. No, we think you guys did a great job, and we think this is a very necessary thing to do, and you definitely did a convincing demonstration of how this would work. So congratulations. I think I'm just going to add very quickly that sort of like an honorable mention around the best presentation UI is probably Giuseppe's Pizza. The only thing, Giuseppe, that we were lacking was a demo.
All right. So for the next prize, the most or the greatest innovation, and we actually had a bit of a discussion not only about who should win, but also how to define innovation, because I guess you could take many approaches. Anyway, what we ended up, or our approach, what we ended up taking, was to say not necessarily the most high-tech or the greatest revolution in science and so on, but rather we like to focus on who had managed to take a technology that was understandable and apply it to a field that seemed very reasonable with a very decent market, to say it at the least. Who had also done some market research. Perhaps we would recommend that they look into the prices a bit more and so on, make sure that they have everything covered. But we like the way they had integrated it all into one package, and therefore we would like to give the prize for the best innovation to 5X. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done. All right.
And they did that with no slides.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the overall winner for tonight is Mindseed.
Captain, I'll get them. Captain in the middle? In the middle.
Okay, guys, and while you're having your picture taken, I'll just give you a short feedback from the judges. We think you have gone quite you've done a great progress since Friday. When we saw you here, it was more like bringing a technology and what you've done with it, applied it in a real-world problem, an important problem. We were very happy about that. You're bringing a novel technology in the market in a very intelligent way. You also did a very great presentation, and you came across as a whole team this weekend. So that was really cool to see. Thank you.
Thank you. Something you want to do?
So, wait.
Yeah, and then one more thing.
That's for you. The flowers are for me.
And the team.
Wow! Woo! There's a lot of thank yous being said at this weekend. I was standing over there and thinking, who didn't I thank? I actually didn't thank Giorgio for all the tech stuff and live streaming everything. Woo! Thanks all for coming. Joe and I are signing off now. And you guys have done a hell of a job over the weekend. Now it's time to kind of relax a bit. And I know I can kind of sense that now is the time where Monica becomes really popular. Because, of course, we will continue to have the food out here and so on for a little bit less than an hour still. But 8:30, there's 2 buses coming in. And it will take you to a bar downtown. And Monica is sitting on all the free bar tickets and the bar discount tickets. So come and see Monica in the bus. But until then, come and have some food and drinks again. Still a lot of beer left, and we have to empty it, she said. Right after this group picture, just outside, we have a really professional photographer standing here. Who wants us outside here or in front, right?
Yeah. Yes, outside
On the reception? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you for coming. Thanks to the judges for spending the Sunday night. Great to see you here. And Monica, I want to wrap it up now.
And thanks to the fantastic facilitators. Music, please!
We will hand it to Joey for one last comment before you fly back to Seattle.
Yeah, I just want to say that this was an awesome time out here. This is my first time in Denmark. So to be able to come out for an event that's focused around startups and seeing the amazing reception to it and just seeing everything from Friday to the craziness that happened Saturday night and the freak out right before the pitches to amazing presentations today was just great to see that. So thank you for having me and hosting me, Monica especially. But yeah, one quick thing about Startup Weekend is that we are a volunteer-powered organization. And so we've grown to be so big because of amazing people like you all, especially like Monica. And so if you are traveling from somewhere else and are interested in doing some more Startup Weekend and bringing it to your specific community, feel free to come up and talk to me. Otherwise, thank you for an amazing time. Let's drink and take this picture outside too. All right, thanks.